Hello, Star Wars unboxing fans. Welcome to another on-the-road edition, Disney edition of Darth Tuba Star Wars unboxing show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba, and today I am off to Disney Springs. Now, for those who don't know, Disney Springs is kind of a shopping, dining district within the Walt Disney World bubble. A lot of my content this past month has been exiting the Disney bubble. I've pretty much completed that mission. I've gone to the Disney Character Warehouse. I've gone to the Lakeland Antique Center. I've gone to Recycling the Magic. I've gone to two vintage toy stores outside of there, and it's been great. It's been, I've been able to find some nifty Star Wars goodness. But now I was just thinking about Disney Springs. And while Disney Springs has tons of stores and tons of restaurants, there is, I was thinking that maybe there would be a good place to go and do some Star Wars searching there. Obviously, this would not be anything antique or vintage related. This would be all new product. But I thought we would go through and check out some of the stores. I mean, obviously, there's the Galactic Outpost. There used to be two, but one of them closed. But there still is the other one, which is basically just something that has a lot of what's available in the Disney parks, Star Wars related. But then there are other places, some other stores that I wanted to check out and just kind of show you some areas where you could pick up a few items, some things unique to this part of the world in the Walt Disney World Resort, and a lot of things that are also available online or things like that nature. But I just thought we would explore the search for Star Wars in Disney Springs. So let's get going. So Disney Springs, quite a few different types of shops, dining establishments. So we're just gonna kind of go around to some of the key ones. I'm not gonna check every single store, but I do know of a handful that pretty much always have a Star Wars presence of some sort. So we're gonna start over here with the most obvious. That's the World of Disney store. Or those in the know, if you worked here, they call it WOD, World of Disney. We also have a Harley Davidson. Not to say that they can't find Star Wars in Harley Davidson. Sure you can. Maybe. Or Levi's. But when there's not a movie promotion, a big tie-in, which there isn't right now, World of Disney always has at least somewhat of a presence. Let's check them out. So a lot of the Disney stores in the Walt Disney World area have recently have updated their layout, and there's a lot more space to walk around. I think they did it here, although I will say it's a little earlier in the day, so it's not quite as crowded. But in updating their space, they've also moved stuff around. So I'm not even sure if they have a dedicated Star Wars section. I'm seeing a couple of things here. Right here we have our standard little figure packs, which looks like they have Trooper one, they have a Hero one, Sith and Jedi. They have a Mandalorian one, and then they have like the Jedi and another Jedi and Sith one. So they have like 4 sets. Those are kind of fun. I mean, there's no movement on them. They're just static figures, but they have them in all sorts of other brands. So that's cool. And then they also have over here some lightsabers and some masks. These are pretty much the same stuff that they have elsewhere. They have this AT-AT thing. They have the Mandalorian. They have the Kylo Ren mask. Armorer's Forge. Yes, Fennec. Yeah, so pretty much the same items that you would see in other parks. All right, now I'm going to check one other area. So hang tight. And we do have these jackets, and celebrating Empire Strikes Back. We got some Hoth material and some Ahsoka, and of course some Grogu. There's pins, lots of pins. That's a whole other collecting Pandora's box. I did pick up this one, which I thought was cool. 3 different kind of comic strip packs. Also have these starter sets. These are sort of so you can do trading. Comes with a lanyard. And I don't see any Star Wars specific lanyards right now. Okay, well that's WAD for now. Let's move on. We also have Once Upon a Toy, which is, it used to be a much bigger store. And it's basically a Hasbro store. But they do have the Build a Lightsaber, which is the same as in Star Tours. And they do have some cool Star Wars. This stuff I think used to be in the airport, actually. And looking around, yeah, there's a little Star Wars corner here. Yeah, definitely more toy-based. Oh, we got the Death Star training remote. We got the E-Wing fighter. A couple of lightsabers, mostly just Vader. And some Vader masks. So, not too much. Oh, got a little more here. Got the black Darksaber. Getting all the feels of the music I'm hearing. Fun. Okay, so that's pretty much it. They used to have, they have the chess set. I love it. I did get the Galactic Archive one. So, okay, and then right across from here, we have a pin station. It's probably the largest pin location ever in the parks. I don't believe you can find any more or larger selection of pins. So let's check them out and see if there's anything different in the Star Wars pins. Generally speaking, they all kind of, unless they're exclusive to the space. I got a couple of different ones here. Looking around here. They've been trading pins here for 25 years. That's crazy. Princesses, Pixar.
Wait, then you called from the email that she sent you?
No. Ooh, Star Wars limited edition pressed pennies. That's cool. I do believe I have most of them. Theme parks and resorts. I don't think they'll have any. What is it? Avatar. Do they have any Rise of Resistance or Star Tours or? No. I think they just, since they have a Star Wars brand itself, I don't think they bother with the ride. Huh. Honorary gold. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything here. I'm also looking for a Muppet pin, but I haven't seen any Muppet pins here. So, keep going around. Lanyards. Again, I don't see any Star Wars specific lanyards. Oh, I don't know what these are actually. They just look like irresistible, like collectible ears, almost like a Vinylmation kind of thing from years back. That's fun. Oh, here we go. Yeah, mostly the same. I don't think there's anything. Maybe a couple of different ones. Oh, they got some Batu ones that I think you can get in Black Spire. That's cool. Alright, so that's your pins. Okay, this used to be the Galactic Outpost that they closed last fall. And my daughter used to work right in there, right in that station. And I would always reach out to her and say, hey, they just released a new figure, a new droid, a new this, a new that. Would you come and, would you go check it out? Sadly, the store is no more. But there is another one on the opposite end. So you might not think Star Wars when you think the holidays, but the Days of Christmas and other holiday stores around Disney property do have some Star Wars themed ornaments. Some of these were in the gift shops in other hotels. And this part Last Jedi and part Rise of Skywalker, because it looks like a Wayfinder. And BB-8. A couple ideas there. Oh, wait, more. Oh yeah, we have the 45th anniversary. Queen Amidala. Nothing says peace on earth like a Death Star. Cool. Okay, side note here. Oh my god, they have Fisher Price. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Kicking it old school. Love it. Kicking it old school. Alright. Continuing on our journey. Well, I thought that the Art of Disney would have some great, more high-end Star Wars related items, but aside from a Galaxy's Edge poster framed print, I saw nothing. Now, I do believe they have an online kind of order area where you can order prints and originals of a ton of art, but I guess right now, well, you know, they have a lot of art events like the Festival of the Arts and things, and there's tons of Star Wars there. So I guess they just don't need it in the store. All right, so that's pretty much it for this side of the Disney Springs. Let's mosey on over to the other side and see what we can locate. Of course, we also have the Lego store. I'm not gonna go in just because it has to be really crazy in there. And most of their offerings are available elsewhere. But they also do these really cool Star Wars inspired sculptures. Keep it moving along. Corksicle, a couple of Star Wars items available. Mando and Grogu inspired, of course. Joffrey's has a select amount of coffees available. And sometimes inside, those are ones available online, but you can also find some deals if you buy them in the store. Okay, well, not Star Wars related per se, close cousin, Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar is a bar in Disney Springs, and for you can get drinks and finger food. And it's actually themed to, believe it or not, Indiana Jones. Now you might wonder, what does Jock Lindsay have to do in Indiana Jones? Well, if you watch the first movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark, in the very first few minutes, when Indy is escaping, and as a pilot that is gonna take off with his pet snake Reggie, that was Jock Lindsay, and it's a character from the show, from the movie. Fun fact, the character was played not by an actor, but by a pilot that was giving Steven Spielberg and George Lucas kind of a tour of the area that they were going to film. So they created this whole bar, this whole hangar bar, you know, with indie themed foods, indie themed drinks, it's indie props, kind of hidden in the background there. Not Star Wars, but Star Wars adjacent. All right, so we've checked out a few stores. I did go into a couple. I was starting to film because I thought that they would have more Star Wars, but they didn't. So I'm not saying this was a dud. There's plenty of Star Wars in Disney Springs. It's just I was expecting some more from places like Uniqlo in Columbia, but they only had a small amount. So we're gonna wrap things up with our final stop, and that will be over this bridge. And of course, it's the Star Wars Galactic Outpost. Now, I think that's the name of it. That's what it was called over by our corner, the one that closed. I don't know if they just, I think it is. I see the name Star Wars over there, but now this again is basically a shop that if you have any interest in any of the main collectibles that are available in the parks and resorts, this is the place. If you don't want to stay at a park or stay at a resort, you can come here for free and you can shop for them here. So they have some Galaxy's Edge stuff, like some lightsabers. They have things like that. So we will just see. I've been checking the store every couple of days just to see if anything new comes in. Full disclosure, I've been here for, at the time of this recording, roughly 15 days, about 17 days, and I've been hoping that they would have restocked the mouse droids, but to no avail as of yet. So let's see what else they got. Yeah, Star Wars Galactic Outpost. All right, so this is your one-stop shop for all things Star Wars goodness.
It doesn't hurt to look. Sorry. Let us hurt to look. It's not. You can even play with something.
That's your birthday 99.
Oh, no, I'm not that guy. I would
Any store is automatically better when you include a John Williams score. These are the holocrons, they're new ones. Some autographs. Some more higher end items. I don't know if that's the higher end, but I know they used to sell this Ewok for it was like $500. It's interesting. It doesn't really look like an Ewok, though. It looks like something else. I don't know. Like a cartoon Ewok. Well, we got Mando helmets. We got C-3PO. We got chessboards. Yeah, I'm thinking about that training remote. Oh. These helmets are awesome. I think I'm gonna wait on some of those though. Gotta love the retro packs. So I think I miss about my daughter being down here. We don't go down as much to visit her, and because she's living at home with us. But when we come down, I would try to get over to the Character Warehouse when some of this stuff goes on sale. I'll definitely pick up some of this in the Character Warehouse. It's another item I might get. All right, cool. And no shortage of shirts. No shortage of... I love this little jacket for a little kid. It's cute. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it today. So you can see there's still plenty of places in Disney Springs to find Star Wars goodness. Nothing of a vintage or all that variety other than the retro vintage figures I just pointed to. So we are going to call it a day. More pressed pennies. Oh, all right, cool. All right, nice. But it was a good... Yeah, as I said, there are probably other stores. I know Columbia sometimes brings in a collection of stuff, very expensive jackets and hoodies and stuff. And I know Uniqlo can sometimes bring some stuff in. But, yeah, so it's, it's really cool. I would say definitely make a trip if you were vacationing down here. And I will say that most of the stuff that's in this space right now, you can probably find in Galaxy's Edge or Star Tours or both. Okay, I wouldn't make a trip out here for just this. But the other stores, you might find a thing. There's also a headband place that you can make like Disney ears, like Mickey ears. But instead of using Disney Mickey ears, you can use little plush characters. And I think they have some Star Wars ones like that. So keep that in mind. Okay, guys, that's all for today. Guess I'll end here on this. Thanks so much for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Check me out on Instagram and Bluesky. Darth Tuba's unboxing page on Facebook. And until next time, may the Force and the toys be with you. You can also find some Vera Bradley Star Wars inspired bags. There's a Vera Bradley store that has that. And it has socks. And they're pretty cool. Love Pop. Interesting greeting cards. Okay, bonus footage. So the Coca-Cola store, unless you've been in the dark, you might not know, or you should know, that there has been a huge Star Wars promotion with Coca-Cola where they have characters on a bunch of different bottles and cans and stuff. And the Coca-Cola store is getting in on that by having some merch. They have some t-shirts, and they did have like a classic Coke glass bottle with like stormtroopers on it. So that's something. I checked in there. There's some t-shirts and something of that nature, but other than that, and they had in the Disney parks, they're only selling 3 bottles. I think it's the Mandalorian and Grogu on one bottle, Chewie on another, and First Order Stormtrooper on the third. There's literally like 20 something other bottles. To get them, you have to go to other outside of the bubble places. All right, so I did want to throw in that at the end. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time again, may the Force and the toys be with you.